The Russians stated that the Ukrainian Armed Forces allegedly attempted to launch offensive actions on the border with the Belgorod region of the Russian Federation. These statements were commented on by the head of the Center for Countering Disinformation under the National Security and Defense Council, Andrey Kovalenko. In particular, the occupiers stated that several armored groups of the Ukrainian Armed Forces allegedly attempted to break through to the Krasnoyaruz district of the Belgorod region. However, the head of the Center for Countering Disinformation said, "We came up with it ourselves. We won it ourselves. That often happens with Russians." According to him, battles in the border area continue constantly during the large-scale war due to the activity of Russian sabotage and reconnaissance groups, artillery duels, and attacks on Ukrainian territory. It is not surprising that it is very profitable for the Russians to escalate tensions before Trump's conversation with Putin. Their main information strategy is to accuse Ukraine of not wanting to end the war, although in fact they are attacking from the front and from the air. And it is Putin who is delaying Trump's proposal to cease fire, Kovalenko emphasized. Belgorod Governor Vyacheslav Gladkov described the border situation as difficult, citing intense shelling and UAV activity. Kovalenko noted that skirmishes along the border, including enemy sabotage groups from Belgorod Oblast and artillery exchanges, have been ongoing throughout the full-scale war. Recall on August 6, 2024, Ukraine brought the war to Russian soil with the Kursk operation, controlling several settlements and the town of Sudza. By March 2025, Russia intensified efforts in Kursk Oblast, reclaiming Sudza. Russian propagandists now claim Ukrainian forces there are encircled, a falsehood repeated by Trump but refuted by President Zelensky, Commander-in-Chief Syrsky, and Defense Minister Umerov. Umerov also affirmed Ukraine's intent to continue offensive operations in Russia. Recently, Ukrainian Defense Forces launched a missile strike on the base of Russian troops in the Bryansk region. The intercepted conversation of the Russians testifies to the consequences of the attack. According to a woman who spoke about the event, there are many Kadirovites among the victims. Some died under the rubble, and those who survived suffered severe injuries. Ukraine may receive more French Mirage 2000 fighters. This was hinted at by French President Emmanuel Macron in an interview with Le Parisien. The publication notes that the recent fact of intercepting a Russian missile by a Mirage 2000 fighter, which was provided to Ukraine, has received wide publicity. Against this background, Macron does not rule out the provision of additional aircraft, including by third countries that use them. At the same time, La Dépêche, citing Macron's statement, writes that France is also working to speed up the delivery of certain missiles and drones that have been identified as a priority by the Ukrainians. The Mirage 2000 5F, a multi-role fighter developed by France's Dassault Aviation, entered Ukrainian service in early 2025 following a pledge by French President Emmanuel Macron in June 2024. The first batch of these jets arrived on February 6, 2025, as confirmed by French Armed Forces Minister Sébastien Lecornu, that noted that Ukrainian pilots had trained for months in France. Designed originally as an air superiority fighter, the Mirage 2000 5F variant boasts upgraded avionics, including the Thales RDY radar, and can carry advanced weaponry like the Mika air-to-air missile with a range of approximately 80 kilometers. For Ukraine, the jets were modified to also deploy Scalp EG cruise missiles and AASM hammer-guided bombs, enhancing their air-to-ground capabilities. However, despite these upgrades, experts argue that the aircraft faces significant challenges when pitted against Russia's Su-30 and Su-35 fighters in a dogfight scenario. The Mirage 2005F's Mika missile, while highly maneuverable and equipped with lock-on after launch capability, falls short in range, making it difficult for the jet to engage Russian fighters without entering their missile envelopes first. The Corriere della Sera writes that Ukraine has almost run out of missiles for the SAMP-T air defense system. Ukraine is asking the governments of the two countries for additional supplies, but there are no results yet. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, commenting on the shortage of these missiles, said that there have never been enough missiles for the SAMP-T systems. There is one problem with this system, or these systems, a large shortage of missiles, and it has been constant. I do not want to say how many of these missiles we have. What is with them? This is a constant problem. Constant, but I do not want Italy or France to be offended because they gave us these systems and they gave us missiles, the head of state said.
U.S. President Donald Trump said he would speak to Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday as he pushes to end the war in Ukraine. According to Associated Press, the U.S. leader disclosed the upcoming conversation to reporters while flying from Florida to Washington on Air Force One on Sunday evening. "We will see if we have something to announce maybe by Tuesday. I will be speaking to President Putin on Tuesday," Trump said. "A lot of work's been done over the weekend. We want to see if we can bring that war to an end." Although Russia failed in its initial goal to topple Ukraine with its invasion 3 years ago, it still controls large swaths of the country. Trump said land and power plants are part of the conversation around bringing the war to a close. "We will be talking about land. We will be talking about power plants," he said. Trump described it as dividing up certain assets.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all. Likewise. Congratulations on the golf games. Oh, thank you. It was a lot of fun. It's good. It's been a good time. And we learned a lot. We're doing pretty well, I think, with Russia. And we'll see if we have something to announce maybe by Tuesday. I'll be speaking to President Putin on Tuesday. And a lot of work's been done over the weekend. We want to see if we can bring that war to an end. Maybe we can, maybe we can't, but I think we have a very good chance.